Hello, my name is Marie. I am 13 years old. That's already typical for me. 12 is still quite childish. 14, on the other hand, is already clearly adolescent. 13 is actually nothing. I am not blonde. I am not brunette. I'm not particularly smart or funny. Nothing about me is special. I am a boring gray mouse. Everyone in my family has something that stands out. My father is a jock and runs marathon after marathon. My mother is a very popular doctor who is constantly approached by patients. Even my little brother, with his cheeky charm and quick wit, stands out immediately. Only I am just boring and mediocre. I only noticed this when my best friend Leah went to Canada as an exchange student. Leah lives just 2 houses away from me. We've been friends ever since I can remember, going to school together every day and sitting next to each other there from the first day of school. My crisis started when Leah went to Canada without me. I really wanted to go, but my parents just wouldn't allow it. I have no idea if Leah is special to others. To me, she definitely is. She is the kindest person I know. Together with her, I never felt so bad, so insignificant. Suddenly, the seat next to me on the bus and at school was empty, and I was just gray. Even when I looked in the mirror. I did not know what to do with myself. The movies I usually watched with Leah didn't interest me on my own. When I went to the movies or ice skating with the others, I felt superfluous. Often I thought they wouldn't miss me if I wasn't there. Or maybe they wouldn't even notice. The longer I thought about it, the more convinced I became that I was just a nobody in my class. Everyone else has something special. Alex, for example, he's so funny, always making everyone laugh. He can really think of a joke in any situation, even when he's gotten a bad grade. He's always in a good mood. Or Clara, who seems as fragile and delicate as an elf. Of course, she dances ballet and moves as if she were floating. The boys blush just looking at her. Everyone notices immediately when she doesn't come to school one day, and they all scramble to send her the homework. Very different from what happened to me last week. I was sick and no one thought to send me the homework. So I called Sophie, who sits 2 rows ahead of me, about the homework. Surprised, she asked me, "Weren't you there today?" She just hadn't noticed, and most of the others probably hadn't either. I wondered if I could be as cool as Ben. A cool outfit and speaking a maximum of 3 words at a time, I should be able to do that, I thought. Most of the time he says things like, "Is that so? Not mine," or "running." In the end, though, I realized that I wouldn't dare enter the classroom dressed so conspicuously. I thought that if I studied day and night, maybe I could become as smart as Eric. He just knows everything. When the whole class groans in chemistry, he really warms up. In statistics, he's the only one who volunteers. And he probably knows all the rivers, cities, and mountains in the world. After 2 weeks of cramming, I had rings under my eyes. I realized that I would never manage to become as smart as Eric. Next, I asked myself, what would I have to do to become a girl as extraordinary as Alessia? Her big dark eyes look so mysterious. On top of that, she just has style. It seems innate to her. She never has lint on her shirt or a torn fingernail. Not even after art class does she have paint on her hands. I quickly had to admit to myself, whatever I do, I'll never be able to be like that. Just before vacation, my aunt came to watch me and my little brother. My parents were going to a medical conference that weekend. My aunt said that gradually I could make something of myself. Since I didn't protest energetically, she started with a makeover, as she called it. She parted my hair straight, blow-dried my hair, and put makeup on me. When she was done, she said, "Now you may look in the mirror." I was horrified and hardly recognized myself. There was no way I would have gone to school looking like that. I looked like my own teacher. Then I went on vacation to a summer camp for the first time without my best friend Leah. Since no one knew me there, I had made a plan. I wanted to stand out there and not get lost. To do this, I got myself a pair of sunglasses and a few other things to spice up my outfit. I was determined to be really cool and a bit mysterious, at least at camp. For that, I practiced in front of the mirror at home and memorized a few of Ben's sayings. It was hell. No one thought I was cool or mysterious. I think they just thought I was dumb and stuck up. Ben's sayings like, "Who cares?" or "Works for you," got me weird looks at best, and no one felt like doing anything with me. I was the last one picked for a team at sports, and no one sat down next to me at dinner. It only got better when, after a week, I meekly dropped the sunglasses and the sayings. Still, they just didn't really trust me anymore. That was definitely the worst summer camp of my life. When school started again after the vacations, Max from my parallel class sat next to me on the bus. Probably because the seat next to me was the only free one on the bus. He asked where my girlfriend was, and we talked about our parents, siblings, and friends, and what special guys they all were. After that, we sat on the bus together every day, and I felt a tiny bit less lonely and gray. I wondered if Max had something special. He wasn't as smart as Eric, not as funny as Alex, not as cool as Ben, and not as interesting and mysterious as Alessia. But he was kinda nice. I still spent a lot of time alone, but I wasn't doing quite as badly anymore. When I did something with some of my class, I still thought they were just more interesting than me. But I wasn't as distant from them anymore. After all, they couldn't help it if everything about me was just mediocre. I missed Leah. I couldn't talk to anyone about how I felt. Not even with her when we talked on the phone from time to time. She was simply too far away for that. My mother asked me once again what was wrong with me. I couldn't and wouldn't tell her anything about my thoughts. She thought I missed Leah, and that was true. I let her believe that was the only reason for my bad mood. How could she, of all people, understand what I was missing? She was always someone exceptionally smart, kind, and athletic, even as a child. To comfort me, she told me that it would only be 10 days until Leah would be back. Then finally, Leah came back from Canada, called me and asked what was going on with me and why I had been so out of touch. She came over and I told her about my crisis and how I just can't see anything special about myself and feel terrible. Leah explained to me how much she likes me and how often loud Alex and sensitive Clara get on her nerves. She said, "You are the only person with whom I can talk completely normally about everything. You don't constantly push yourself to the fore. With you, not everything has to be cool or funny. You're my best friend because of who you are." I immediately felt better and wanted to know everything about her time in Canada. The next time Max and I were alone together on the bus, because Leah was at the doctor, I told him about my conversation with Leah. He laughed and said that he felt that way quite often and how he sometimes feels next to guys who are super athletic, incredibly funny, or cool, that he'd much rather be with people who are more like him. "Like you," he said. "And it's just easier to talk to you. Not just endless conversations about sports or just making cool comments like I do with some of my class." By now, Leah, Max, and I, all three of us, are good friends. We still talked a lot about being special and what we'll probably be like when we grow up. We do a lot together and encourage each other to do something unusual sometimes. But every time we ask ourselves if we really want to do it, or if we just hope it will make us special. Sometimes we go out for ice cream and keep an eye out for special people. We agree on one thing. It must be quite exhausting to be so special all the time.